everyone. This is Victorian Dreams by Leigh, and it's me, Leigh, and we also have Hazel with us. Hi, Hazel.
Hi, Leigh. Hi, everyone.
She said hi, everyone. Hopefully you can hear her. So this is Glue Gun Chronicles time. I'm sorry that I've been missing in action. Work, building a house, holidays, got sick for a little bit, so I'm back. Anyway, so let's get started. I don't have a sample. I made this, a year ago, more than a year ago, and it's a really inexpensive dollar store project that anyone can make, and you don't even have to get the supplies from the dollar store. And go look at my original video a year ago on it and see a whole bunch of them. Hopefully I can find the pictures, and I don't even know if I took pictures, and add it to this video. So let's get started. So what we're going to do is make a wall hanging out of a dollar store runner. And I did this a year ago, and it turned out so nice, and I gave them all away, and I thought I'll make one more. I've had a couple of people ask for me to make another one, so I said why not. So this hanger is from Joann's, and the order number is 82676911320, and we are going to use this. This cost me $1 at Joann's, so you can get it at joanns.com, and they're the perfect size. And this is a table runner from the dollar store, and I'll show you the different colors they come in. They come in, whoops, I moved my lighting. They come in green, they come in red, and they come in a blue. So that would be really fun. You could do Christmas one. Anyway, there's so many that I did. Go look at that video if you want. It's only project share, and it's really quick. All right, so we're going to cut this in half. We're going to meet these up, and we're going to cut it in half. Okay? So let's cut it in half. Let me get I have scissors for paper and scissors for material. Okay, let's get rid of one. Save it for another day. Okay. There's a front and a back. We want to make sure that this is to the back because it's already been sewed up like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 4 inches and put it up above, and then we're going to take the 6 inches and roll it up. So let me do 4 inches. The reason why I do 4 is it happens to work out nice, and I'm going to give myself extra since if I don't cut straight, and I'm going to make a line. Let's see, this I didn't cut totally straight, so this is a really I'm going to do 4.5. I'm going to do 4.5. That way if I need to have spares. So I'm going to make a mark, 4.5. Let me see if I can line this up with my Tim Holtz ruler. I'm going to make a line to cut it. Well, if it snags like that, I'm not going to be able to. This is all going to get covered up with trim. And see, the Tim Holtz ruler, you can line it up as a square. It's, the way the ruler's made. It's a very nice ruler. Okay, so I did a little bit extra cutting, or it left me a little extra so that if I needed to turn it up or straighten anything out. And I'm cutting a pretty straight line. Okay, so that's going to be the top. Let's put that off to the side. Okay, Charlie is turned on, and what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple of clothespins, have them close by, and we're going to measure 6 inches up. And I do 6 inches because it just, with the 4 inches and the 6 inches and putting it here, it just flowed really nicely. So let's do 6 inches up. We're still only using half of our material, so there's 6 inches. Let's see if I can get it exactly at 6 so that it's totally square. Okay, so I'm going to pin that down just to hold it in place and do 6 and 6 and 6. There we go. Okay, that's the hardest part. Okay, now let's just put a really nice crease in it. I did iron this because it'll be easier to iron now, and you see so much of it. I did iron it. Okay, so alright guys, that's the hardest part. So now let's just glue these sides into place. This is like one of my first projects that I made. And because this is that rayon-y stuff, it really takes to the glue gun and all. So we did the sides, and we're matching the sides up. Ooh, it's hot, and I haven't touched glue in a month, and woo, it's hot. And we can trim anything that is not totally square, but I'm trying to do pretty square. You can tell it's hot, it's sticking to me. Okay, now let's do the other side. Hopefully I'll stay in frame and you can see this. Let me look and make sure y'all can see me. My camera is cutting off every 7 minutes. I don't know why, so let's do this side. And the problem is even after I've deleted and cleaned up my pictures, it still shows it in there, but then when I go to delete it, it's not. So this is going to be a fun night doing this. So all we did was glue both sides, and we're done with that pocket. Oops, let me add a little bit right here. We're going to trim all this out. This is a very inexpensive gift, but once you bling it up, they will never know. Okay, so there is a pocket. It's a pretty deep pocket. You can put brushes, underwear, hang this in the closet. Remember, the hanger's going to go up here, but now let's get the 4-inch piece. And this is pretty straight because I cut it. So let's measure and put it right even. So I say 3 inches if I can remember. I had 3 inches in between. Let me see how much is up here. Up here is 4.5. So let's do 3.5 inches. Let's raise it a little more. And actually, instead of just, I'm gonna 3.5. And if it's not straight right here, the trim will cover that. So yeah, I better tack this down. So let's do 3.5. That way if it moves around, it's not really hurting me a lot. And trim can hide anything. eyeballing it. So let's put the glue on that seam right there and glue down. Okay, see how it's glued down? And this rayon, because it's rayon and stuff, it really sticks really nicely. Okay, let's make it straight and bring it across. I'm running out of glue. Let me add a glue. Hazel went downstairs, so she'll be right back. Add a little glue. I know the bottom is a little bit crooked, so I'm going to, there. Okay, now you see how that's off just a little bit? We're going to cut that and trim that when we're, well, we can do it right now actually. And you don't even do anything to the back. The back is done. But see how it was a little off? Okay. So now we're going to glue the bottom. And any flyaways or anything, don't worry, because it will be hidden. We didn't glue the bottom of this one because we turned it up. It already made a pocket. So let's just glue the bottom. I don't know if all my glue is coming out, so I may have to hit it twice. I would rather hit it twice, but I'm not too worried because we're going to put trim, and the trim will also seal it. Okay, so did I hit everywhere? I did. Okay, so there's our top pocket. So now all we do is decorate. Because this top pocket, I did find that it was easier for me to find the middle from the hanger, and it's 11. So we want 5.5, and that's the middle. And we are going to put a line down the middle of this because the pocket, I'm going to make a line there, and we're going to hide it underneath the lace here. And what I do is I just take my ruler. I got to get closer in though. I take my ruler and I stay on one side of it so I can see where the line needs to go, and I put glue right on the edge of it so that it's pretty straight. So I really kind of just stay right beside the glue. Now I went too far up. Let me get that off. That was hot. But I may have to reheat that or rub that off. I'm glad I got most of it off. Maybe the trim will hide it, or we'll put a flower there or something. Or I'll have to heat that up with the glue gun and get it off. It's already wanting to come off. It's already coming off. There we go. Okay, so because it was floppy, so we put a strip right here and we made 2 pockets. Okay. Hazel's back. Hazel, I already had to take the camera, unload it, and start again. But we're on record. Okay, so there we go, guys. Now all we have to do is embellish. So I was thinking this would be really pretty, but I have to have enough for up here, 1 piece, 2 pieces, 3, and 4. So let me see if I have enough. Okay. Oh, every 7 minutes. This is a... But I want to be here. So 1, 2, 3. See, I don't have enough to do 4. So that's off. Let's see. let's do cream on cream. I have enough for that. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have enough, and I have a little bit of a piece right here. And this is from Hobby Lobby. The number is 604157, regularly $5. I got for $2.50. So this is all doable. So let's get started. What did I do here? I don't like those flyaways. So I'm trying to rush because of this darn video camera. I have a true video recorder, and I'm going to have to start using it. Alright, make sure I use the right side. So, another thing is you have to have something underneath while you do this so it doesn't get stuck. So I'm trying to look for something with a piece of plastic on it so it won't stick. Something like this. That way it won't stick. Let me do this side first. So you don't want the pieces sticking to each other. Okay. Put a straight line of glue. This is truly a very easy project. I'm a little irritated because of my camera, and all the glue is stuck on here. Okay, now let's go underneath that side and put a piece glue here, and if you pull the lace tight and straight, it automatically makes it straight for you, and we'll trim all flyaways. Okay, so okay, shiny side. So this bottom one, we don't have to worry about sticking it down, and it's okay if it sticks down because it just gives it more support. So let's just go halfway. That way my glue does not dry up too fast. Okay. Before it dries, get any that came off, and that way you don't see it. Okay. Let's cut this side off. Okay. Let's get this so that we don't glue our pieces down. Let's see which is the shiny side. And this is. So let's glue halfway. This is just straight lines. Put that on the edge. We are going to put stuff on the edge and probably bling on this too. Just make it nice and pretty. This is a really nice gift. It's really quick. I've made a lot of these, about 10 or more. It was over a year ago. The glue's coming through the trim, See, it's stuck on there, but that's okay. I don't like that little piece right here. Okay, and now let's cut this. Okay, now let's do the bottom. Okay, we're talking about my settings on my phone, so let's glue this one down. Let's go halfway so it doesn't dry on us. Put it here, and we want it to dangle off, and it's hot, and we're going to put some bling or something on this too. I'm not happy with that. There's some stuff that will get that off, but I can see the glue right here, so I'm going to be more careful, and I will hide that with some more trim or something. Okay, the hard part's over. We'll definitely flip this around and make sure that this is all cut nice. So far, your pocket here with dangle, and your pockets here, your two pockets here. It kind of doesn't look even, but it was measured. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue on the trim and glue these down, just those pieces. This needs to be trimmed better here where I started. We're going to glue these down. Well, I like doing it on the trim so I don't have extra glue. Okay. This needs to be trimmed just a hair. When you're making these are from the dollar store, and they're not exactly perfect, but once you bling it out with lace and different things, it turns out really nice. You can already tell just by this one piece, it's really pretty. I'm going to do it on the trim, that way I don't go over and show glue where it doesn't need to be. If you're hearing something, that's Hazel in the background, and she's crafting too. And I haven't hung out with Hazel in a while. We're being really quiet because when we both craft, we get kind of quiet, and we may sit there for 10 minutes at a time and not talk. So far, here's your project, okay? But we're going to add more to this. So let's see, what else do we want to add to it? Let me see what else we have. This right here, this trim will go right here, but we want to do something across here. I'm going to put this trim up here, down here to finish it off, like that, but that goes last. So let me see something else. Let me see what other trim I have. This is really nice. This is from Hobby Lobby. That's really nice, and it hides that edge. Let's see. I don't have it all in front of me. Do we want to do two different colors? Do you want to do bling? Let's see if we use maybe this here. Oh, that's pretty. Let's do that. So because we're going to do this, we are going to put this trim first so that the beads stay in the middle. I always put glue and everything to not let it go crazy. So, doesn't have flyaways. So let's just start a straight line. And put the trim here. I've hung out with quite a few ladies and friends and people I know and have made this before for them, and it's just really simple and quick because we're doing it live and you're seeing the mistakes as I make them. You see how long it will take me. It's taking me longer because of the video. That's stuck to the table. Okay, there's one side done. It really cleans it up nicely. This needed just a little bit more there. Let's add glue right on that seam. And I'm raising my gun and it's getting to be thinner, so I'm doing a second lap around that because I made it really thin. Let's try to keep it as straight as possible. I try to make a lot of presents for Christmas for about 30 some people, and it's the boys. If you're still in high school, they still get a gift. Once you're out of high school, I don't gift anymore because then I feel that you're grown, but then I give to sister-in-laws and all that. So there's about 30 some gifts that I give. So, you know, I could take this all the way up. I think I will. That one I'm going to have to splice together. This one we're going to take all the way up. And I know I'm going to actually cut the top off too. So just angle that. And so I like to give a little something, even though it might have only cost me $5 to $10 to make something. I save everything and have a lot of gifts by the end of the year. Okay. Let's see if I can keep this all one piece. I'm going to cut this tip off. There we go. If I'd have thought about it, I'd have went all the way up and you would have seen that seam meet up at the top instead of on this side. So I'm going to put a little glue here to not have those ends fray, and it will dry clear and no one will ever know. Okay, and this I'm going to add right here and let dry for a minute so it doesn't fray. Move that out of the way. Okay, while it's still flat before we put the hanger on and flowers and everything, let's go ahead and put the bling here so far, Hazel.
Nice.
Hazel, you've made these, haven't you?
Yeah, I think I did one with you or two back there.
Yeah. Okay, we have flat back pearls or beads, half, and that we're going to put in between here, and we're going to hide that seam, and we're going to put them there. Okay, so this is all just straight gluing, just straight across. And if it gets a little crooked, let the bling tell you to go across. Okay, the bling, if you pull it straight, any trims, if you pull it straight, it will stay straight. Okay, so we want to cut that there. So there's one. So see, it's dangly. Okay, now because we're doing the pocket, we don't want it to glue all the way down. We're only going to go halfway. Try to stay right on that line. Hopefully my camera is picking up that you can see the glue happening. These I got from Saw Crafters. She doesn't sell them anymore, and I know that you can find them other places. Let's move that over. Just finish this up right here. Yeah, I'm trying to come up with projects that are not real expensive, that anyone can get their hands on the supplies. This one is the bottom of the pocket, so we don't need that. So let's just make a straight line. Oh, come on. I don't want my glue drying. Whoa, whoa, I made it crooked. I pulled that off really fast. Get the extra glue off there. Thank goodness I didn't let it dry. Okay, now let's redo this. Okay. See, I like it straight. We're staying in between that trim there of the border. It just makes it look nice and finished. You could add a lot of doilies to this. You could add so much. Okay, so there's a pocket, there's the bottom. Now we got to put this piece of plastic here and go halfway with the glue. There's little flyaways, don't like that. I have a new gun to use that I won with Kim, Fatty Patty Scrappers, and I'm going to try that out, not on camera, but I can't wait to try it. She says it's better than what I'm using, so I'm pretty happy with that one, so we'll have to see. But it was nice to win something. And you know this is Glue Gun Chronicles, so you know there's going to be a Daiso giveaway. I've been doing the Daiso hauls and Daisos for over a year now. Showing y'all. And then put that there. Okay. Okay, the hardest part is the hanger. Well, actually just cutting it. So really, there you go. Whoops, that's the bottom. So now let's just put the hanger on. What I do is I put the hanger inside here. So let's turn it over. And it's only snipped together with like 2 pieces of thread right here. So let's unsnip that, see? It's 2 pieces of thread and it's open. So I just put the hanger in through there and then it gets hidden. So it gets hidden from that. So what I'm thinking is this time I'm going to try to cut, instead of cutting the whole tip off, I'm going to just cut back here and stick the hanger and see if that tip will stay. If not, then we'll cut the whole thing. Let's see what works. And let's find the hanger. We're trying to find that. I had it backwards. Let's see. So far, I still need to cut a little bit of this hanger off because I want it to go further down. Oh, look, it didn't stay glued. See that when it gapped? I did the whole crease and it didn't stay glued because it dried on me so fast. With this rayon, for some reason, it dries fast. So we fixed that problem. So now I can see that it did it again. All right, so this came unglued right here because it dried so fast, but it's easily fixed because I'm always rushing, worried about how long this is taking and everything. Ooh, that's hot. My fingers are not used to it lately. Okay. So I want it to lay flatter, so we're going to have to cut that a little bit. This is why I said I wish that this came all the way up, because we're going to cut it off right here, and those pieces that came to meet each other, you wouldn't have seen it. So let's cut it off. My finger's really burnt. And we're going to put a doily there to hide that cut. I still say it needs a little bit more. I would rather slowly cut it 1 or 2 times than one time and it be totally wrong. So that so far is, how much did I cut? The tip is about 1 inch. So let me cut some more. I would rather cut twice or 3 times. And remember, we're going to put a doily here to hide it. So I literally will glue the hanger on here, but I'm going to do it to the back so that if it pops around, you don't see it. So let's just make sure the hanger is central, or centered, not central. And let's put glue on the hanger to keep it in place. Okay, I've moved it around, so now let me reposition it. Make sure it's level and straight. Okay. There you go. Now we'll take a doily and put, now see, this is why I didn't put the trim up before, because I used to fold this down and hide it. And you see the trim? But now I'm just going to put a doily. I could even cut just a little more. But I'm going to put a doily right here. So I don't have a doily. Let me grab one. Let's see. We want to do white or cream. This is the dollar store doily for Michael's for $1.50, but they might be too big. This might be too big. Put it through the middle. Let's see. I don't know, I kind of like it. I kind of like it. I'm going to try one more doily. See if I can get this away without tearing anything up. I'm going to try one more size, but I kind of like this doily. So far, this is 50 cents because we only use half, $1.50 and $1. So we have $3 and then trim. So I think we could do this all for maybe $5, no more than $7. That's very doable. I'm getting doilies. Sorry, I'm not prepared. I don't have them. Let's see, this is a nice size doily, and I've used this before, and it matches. Let's see what that does. So if we stick this, I still may have to trim some of this because I'm doing it a little different this time. It's been a year. So this doily, now see, and that doily looks really good. And see how it cleans it up? And then once we add flowers and stuff, let me look at both of them again. I'm sorry. If I'm going to do it, I might as well do it right. Which one do y'all like? I'm going to stick with the bigger one. So I was going to go with this, but okay, I'm going to stick with the bigger one. And what we're going to do is we're going to tack it down in the front where we want it. Let's make sure this isn't backwards. Yeah, it is. So let's turn it around. Okay, now because we know that the doily is going to hide this to keep it in place, let's go ahead and glue that down. Okay, now the doily is on. We glued the hanger in the front, but underneath the doily. So let's make it look like a bib or a collar. And the extra will go to the back. So let's tack this down where we need it. We're going to touch on there. I'm not going to put a lot of glue on this. Ooh, I got my finger. Because I need to put it in place before I really secure it all around, and then I'll come back. Okay. I'm going to have extra here. What do we want to do with the extra? Do we want to cut it off and merge the two? Should we try that? And then we can always use this for something else. So since we're going to try that, we need to put this in place where it's going to go. and on the other side where it's going to go. Okay, so the front is exactly what we want it to look like, okay? So now we cut. I'm kind of worried about cutting because you could just leave it like that. But this is the back. I'm going to try it. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. I'm wondering if I'm doing the right thing because I don't want it to fray and all. I could just do this and have it gathered. In fact, the gathering of that is pretty too. We could have done that in the front and had it gathered. So let's just gather it. I don't want to mess up. So let's just tack it all down in place. You know, if I cut it, then it would start fraying, and so I chose not to. So whichever one you feel comfortable with. I think I can live with how I folded it over. And it's the back anyway. Could have kept it open and even put potpourri in it for smelly. I'm going to put a potpourri little bag. So that's the back. I don't know. It's not the end of the world. I think I could have cut it, but I just didn't want it to fray because these fray and all. I don't know. I may change that later. I'm going to take pictures and show you. I probably will. Okay, now we're going to, here's the pockets. We put a seam down. We're almost done. So now we're going to add a headband. I like the flowers already done. I find them. I've showed y'all in my group the different flowers. So we're going to just put a flower there and it kind of cleans that all up. So this flower, we'll cut the headband part off. This, I have some foam flowers. They're kind of pretty, but no. How about this one? I think this one pops. So let's go ahead and cut the headband. I'm going to save the trim that comes on it. And this makes it just real quick, real simple. This is going to hang in a closet, so you don't have to worry about overdoing it and all. I don't like how this is not showing, so I'm going to just take a little bit of glue and tack, just a little bit of glue, and tack it down just a hair so that it shows the really nice bling. See the really nice bling that was with that? So we are going to just cover this right here and say we're done. So this has a nice surface on it to add the glue. And let's center it right about there. Simple, simple, very inexpensive, very cute, and we're done. I hope you like it. This is Glue Gun Chronicles. There'll be a giveaway. If you share, let me know, and if you comment, you get a entry. If you share, you get a second entry. If you share on multiple, let me know. I can't keep looking because I have about 100 people now, sometimes 50, but I can't go and look. So you need to, in the comments, you need to let me know how many times you shared so I can just write that down. And I go on the honor system. I don't check a lot, almost never, and so that's a cute little project. So if you share an entry, all you have to do is share and you get a second entry, and if you comment, you get your first entry. So it's not very hard, and I will put a video at the end of this of what the type of Daiso stuff you get. starting next year, because I have so many people complaining, and it would be just easier if you would make a video response of getting the package or picture response. It would make it easier on me, and then I won't have people complaining saying, are you really giving stuff out? Which I do. Some people don't even have any videos up. It's just by chance. Anyway, guys, it's done. It's simple, quick. I'm going to clean up the flyaways and everything. And of course, we can add so much more doilies and add so much more. That just came unglued. Because I was doing it really thin. I don't want you to think this doesn't work. It does, but remember how thin I was doing that? There we go. And because it's rayon, it actually does not come apart, so I had that too thin. I haven't crafted in a month, so my hands are a little shaky on the glue gun. Johnny brings me Starbucks at 8 o'clock at night, Hazel. So, and it's, you know, so I'm on coffee late at night. So here we go again. I'm not using enough glue. Wow, you wouldn't think that after a month you would fall apart here. But there you go. It's totally on there now. I know that I have family members that have had this for a year and not one piece has fallen off or anything. So excuse me being a light touch on the glue part tonight. But anyway, so I'm going to show it to Hazel. Here you go, Hazel. See the flower I put there?
Yeah, that is so pretty.
Thank you. And guys, Hazel's one of the sweetest people I've ever met, so go to her channel, and I'll put her link below too. Show her some love. Actually, instead of getting a Daiso, you are going to get Natasha's, I have to go to Facebook. Natasha, I want to say Natasha's Scrapbook Korner. She gave Phoebe money for a birthday challenge, and Phoebe is from Japan, and I won 2 things, and I didn't want to be a hog and win everything, so I am going to give $15 of what Natasha gifted, and it's going to go to the winner instead of Daiso stuff. And you can go shop at Natasha's. I'm going to try to find her real quick and show you, but I'm going to shop at Natasha. You're going to shop at Natasha's and get $15. You can only buy $15 worth, but you have to pay for your own shipping and handling, she said, and I agree. So this, okay guys, so here's the project. We are going to do Natasha's Scrapbook Korner, and I will send all the links down below. So you have to comment, and if you share, you get a second entry, and you get to win $15 worth of supplies from her store, but you have to pay for your own shipping. Okay, so so all you have to do is enter, and you have a chance to win. This, now that it's dried and glued, it is not coming off. So yeah, I was rushing, and I've got a lot of coffee. So yeah, don't be afraid of this project just because I was rushing through it. Yeah, it's all good now. So anyway, but this is a really cute, nice, quick, easy project to start on. If you mess up, you didn't spend a lot of money, and this is a good way if you're a beginner. A lot of my stuff is for beginners, but I hope this inspired you to go out and make your own something. And you could do the green or red and hold Christmas cards and all kind of stuff. Hair brushes, hair ties, underwear. I'm going to put a little sachet in the back so when they hang it in the closet. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoy it. Natasha Scrapbook Corner came thank you through it's excuse me, Phoebe from Japan, and I'll give her link. She let me win, and I was so grateful that I want to share the love and pass it on to someone else. I don't need to win two things at one drawing. I was so happy with what Phoebe gave me that I'm giving some of the prize money to you. There is another $15 if it works real well. Next glue gun, which will be, I'm going to go ahead since I'm behind on doing it. I'm going to make another glue gun in the next day. So if it goes well and I see comments, then there'll be another 15. If not, then I'll buy something for myself. But Natasha and I already spoke about it, and she was very happy to do this for us. And I want to thank Natasha and Phoebe and Hazel for everybody, and everybody that came and joined and everything. Thank you so much for being my subby and being my friend. Bye, guys.